Hello, journalers. Today is the last day of July, so I wanted to check in with you and do a quick journaling exercise to help us to crystallize what our memories are and our thoughts about July and start looking ahead to August. As we work through these prompts, I encourage you to spend as much time as you would like. If the 5 minutes that I give you is not enough, feel free to pause this recording at any time and spend more time. Otherwise, I will be including 5 minute blocks of time just in case somebody just wants to watch this and not have to do any extra work of timing for themselves. I also want to point out that journaling can look like a lot of different things for a lot of different people. So if you're somebody who prefers writing a lot of to-do lists, do to-do lists. If you're somebody who prefers to draw, draw. If you're somebody who likes to write longhand, write longhand. It's really completely up to you what form of journaling works best. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so first, I just want to start by looking at the overall view of July. What were the events that are worth remembering? The holidays, the birthdays, the random days that turned into arbitrary holidays. What were those special days? And then next, we're going to look at what are the milestones. So, are you training for a marathon or a 5K? Are you renovating a room in your house? Whatever it is that you're working on, let's take a moment to remember those milestones. And then finally, what do the everyday moments look like for you in July? Often, when we look back at memory keeping, it's very easy for us to point out the things that are momentous and that might look like a big deal to other people. But 30 years down the road, the things that you're really going to miss and you're really going to think about are sometimes just those lazy days on the couch or out spending time in the backyard with your family and your dog. So we do want to take a moment to just remember, what did July actually look like for you on an average day? So I'm going to give you 5 minutes now to write down these, and you can spend as much or as little time on each of the categories as you would like before we move on to the next one. All right, the timer starts now. right, so next we're going to move into your month in a few words. So these are just 5 quick prompts. Don't spend a lot of time on them. And if there's a particular one that pulls on you and you really want to write more about that, go ahead. But otherwise, you can just write 1 or 2 words for each of these. So first, you're going to think about what are the 3 words that describe the month that just ended? These can be positive or negative or neutral, totally up to you. Second is a moment that you'll remember from this month. Third is something you learned about yourself. Fourth is what did you read, watch, or listen to this month? And fifth, your favorite thing that you wore this month. I think it's so important to not just live in our heads, but to remember what were the really sensory things that appealed to you this month. Incorporate those senses like touch, like smell. So this month's is your favorite thing that you wore. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Start. Okay, the next exercise is called Rosebud Thorn. And this is a three-part exercise that I find really useful to do once a month. But if you're enjoying it, this is something that you could do every week, maybe even every day, to notice what's working, what's growing, and what was hard for you about the month that's ending. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes for each of them. So we're going to start with rose. So, rose is what is blooming for you this month. If you need more of a prompt, these are a couple ideas. You could write about what were you proud of that you accomplished this month? What was making you feel most alive or inspired? Who or what brought you happiness or support? Or what progress did you make on your goals that you're excited about? So let's spend 5 minutes on this. Timer starts now. Next, we have the bud. So the bud is about what's growing. And it's sometimes hard to distinguish between the rose and the bud. So I often like to think about the rose as something that was going really well last month, but maybe has ended, and the bud as something that's going to be continuing on into the next month. So if you want more of a prompt than just what's growing, you could write about what is emerging in your life right now. What are you looking forward to exploring next month? What habits or projects are starting to take shape? Or what new ideas or interests are worth exploring right now? And I'll give you 5 minutes with the timer start now. Okay, now we're going to move into the thorn. So this month in July, what was challenging for you? So this could be an obstacle, a frustration, a source of discomfort. And this can be something that's internal or something that's external. And don't try to make it something that's, something you came up against, but you're going to find a way to turn it into something that you have to fix. It's okay if it's just, hey, my sink broke. That was really frustrating. Just whatever felt challenging. And if you want more descriptive prompts, you could write about what has been draining, confusing, or stressful. Where did things not go as planned? What patterns or distractions slowed you down? And what did this month's challenges teach you? So I'm going to give you 5 minutes for this one, and the timer starts now. Okay, great job. So, just one final prompt is just remember what anything else that's in your head about July that you didn't have a chance to write down yet. We really want to get all of that out before we start thinking about August. So, anything else you want to remember about July, good or bad, take a couple minutes and write it all down right now. And I'm not going to set a timer for this one, but if you have a lot that you want to write, feel free to pause the recording here and write it down. Otherwise, I'm going to move on. Okay. Now we start thinking about August. So let's think about what our intentions are for the month to come. So, first, I want you to think about what are your top three priorities. These are the three things that, if you do them, will really make you feel like you spent this month well. And this can be specific things, or these can just be general things like August is going to be about relaxing for me, or August is going to be about connecting with the kids before they go back to school, or August is going to be about maybe getting a head start on work before everybody else comes back in September. Whatever your three priorities are. Second thing is what's one specific thing that if you achieve it, you will celebrate? And you can celebrate in any way that you would like to. Maybe you're going to do an extra workout at the gym. Maybe you're going to buy yourself a cupcake and eat it. Maybe you're going to break out the champagne. Whatever it is, you have to commit right now that if you do this thing, you are going to celebrate yourself for achieving it. And then finally, what are some stumbling blocks that you know that you have to look out for in this August? So, what are some things that have tripped you up before that might again? And remember, these can be external or internal. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes to work on this. And again, feel free to spend as much or as little time as you want to on each of them. And if you need more time, just pause the recording. So the timer starts now. Now, finally, I just want you to take a couple minutes and write down the key dates that you need to be on top of. These might be birthdays, appointments, holidays, other important events, the kinds of things that you might have to ask for some time off work, or you might have to put a card in the mail, or you just might have to be like a little aware that this thing is coming up. So take a couple minutes and just write down those things. And you might even want to look into the first week of September, because if it's something where you're going to have to put a card in the mail or send a gift, then you want to be sure that you're on top of that. Okay, so let's do 5 minutes now, and I'm setting the timer. right. So thank you so much for joining me for this journaling exercise. And I hope you'll join me later in the month for a live journaling experience. We're going to be looking at nature journaling and doing a field guide using the nature that's around you just in your typical writing space. All right. So I look forward to seeing you there and seeing you in the group. Thanks. Bye.